Thank you very much. This next question will be directed to Mr. Figley first. What are your top 3 priorities for Okeechobee County, and what steps will you take to achieve those goals over the next 4 years if elected?
Well, the top 3 priorities aren't very inspiring with the current economic situation. I wish I could give you something exciting, but it's going to be to continue to, let's see, where was that? Sorry, I have a list. Survive the economic downturn without cutting the legitimate functions of county government. Continue to look for cuts, creating a small, efficient government, and avoid tax increases at all costs, because that's what promotes growth. And that's 3 I have. Thank you.
Ask me that question again.
Yes, sir. What are your top 3 priorities for Okeechobee County, and how will you accomplish those goals?
All right, I think the top priority is budget. And if we can fix that part by working together with all the constitutional officers and doing a budget review probably every 3 months or 2 months, I think that that we can solve that shortfall that we got right now. And I know it's difficult on everybody. Everywhere I go, I hear the same question. Can you give me that again? I don't remember what.
Just the top 3 priorities that you will have for the county, and what you're going to do to accomplish those goals.
Probably the second one would be to review the upper echelon in the staff. I think we need to. I'm hearing a lot of things out on the road today when I go and talk to people, and most people think we're real heavy on the front end, but I'm not sure till I'm there and I spend a little time with them, because I hadn't done it very much for the last 4 years. So until I get there and review everything, I don't really know what to look for, really. I've talked with some of the other commissioners, and some feel one way and some another. So I like to go and make up my own mind. I don't try to take anything for granted. Thank you.
My first priority will be trying to balance the budget year-round. I mean, all year long, 365 days a year. And to accomplish that, we'd have to go through, like I say, quarterly events, keeping up with the constitutional officers, keeping a tight rein on our side of it, our spending. My second one is making Okeechobee a household name, to where people want to come here from the coast. We can upgrade Lake Okeechobee and Lock 7. I know everything we try to do to bring people in here is going to cost money, but I think we can find grants to do this. But if you bring communities together, if you bring economics in this county, and bring businesses in here, and fix it to where they won't have to pay an arm and a leg just to get an impact fee or a permit, I think you'll find more people coming to Okeechobee. My third one is keeping Okeechobee like you do your house. You keep it clean and neat. But if someone's going to come, you get out there and spruce up the yard a little bit. I think we need to spruce up our yard. I think a lot of it has to do with not only putting in fines on people, but keeping the fines down, keeping them for about 30 days, and then implementing them where they have to clean up their violations, instead of letting it go on until it's way past something they can't pay for anyhow. So keeping Okeechobee beautiful, getting there on our way, bringing community, bringing involvements of businesses in this county, especially in our lake. That is our jewel. We've been told that we paid $20,000 just to have people tell us it's the best place in Florida. Thank you.
My top 3 priorities is, number 1, we've got a $4 million budget shortfall. You can't run your private budgets in your house like that and survive. It's not sustainable. Number 2 is our employees, the situation with losing employees. Public Works took 65% of the hit in layoffs. And I don't think there could be anything more disturbing to a county commissioner, if they have compassion and heart, is to have to tell a dedicated employee, I'm sorry, we're going to have to lay you off. So I think there's a couple things we can do. The third thing is, the most important thing, is the revitalization of our economy. We've lost a lot of small businesses, and I think that's something we need to address. We need to work, as Terry has done, is to go out and recruit new business to come to Okeechobee, introduce them to what we have here, which is this is a beautiful community. We've got affordable housing, we've got large acreages to be able to entice business to come in here. Clean industry, green industry. The biggest thing I see right now is dealing with the employees. It's a horrible thing to have to do that, but I think one of the things we need to look at is all departments, streamlining those departments, maybe reducing the departments down into larger quantities so we don't have to have so many people watching over our employees. We have to take steps right now to make sure that in the future we're viable as far as the county goes, and I think the way we're going right now, this didn't happen just overnight, so we have to address the really tough issues of streamlining our government. One of the things we can do is work with the counties around us to have them pool together all of our efforts, possibly buy insurance for our employees at a lower rate, gasoline pool so we can buy our gasoline at a lower price. There are creative things that you can do. Streamlining the employees' retirement system and looking at new ways so that when they retire, if they leave with less than 10 years, they're not tenured, that they've got a little nest egg set aside to carry them over to their next job. Those are the things we have to look for. If we have to lay an employee off, for gosh sakes, let's make sure that they have enough money to carry them over. And we can offer people early retirement outs to clear up the high salaries at the top so that we don't have to get rid of the ones at the bottom, the worker bees, so to speak. Because I tell you, when you've got a young family and you're trying to make it, and many of our employees are on Medicaid, that has to change. That's almost embarrassing. Thank you.
Everybody's enthusiasm, but we ask that you do constrain to the time constraints. Thank you.
I think a lot of times we tend to say, woe is me, and look at our bad problems. And what am I going to do to get myself out of this? I think right now we're in a time that in some ways we should be blessed for. When we have grown rather fat and lazy, not just here in Okeechobee County, but all over this country. And we're seeing right now that everybody is having to go back and evaluate your home, the way you run in your home, the way you run in your budgets there, the way you're, as a small business owner, I'm having to go back and look at the way I'm doing things. Is it an efficient way of buying materials? I think right here in Okeechobee, we're doing the same thing. And I think one of the long-term goals for us is to continue to constantly examine our government operations at all levels and see, are we operating efficiently? Where can we make long-term savings to make ourselves attractable? When you can keep your taxes low and you make it affordable, when you have people like Brian Carlin we have out there trying to recruit businesses, one of his big selling points is being able to say, hey, we have a low tax rate here. So long-term budgeting, making ourselves more effective, making ourselves more efficient. And I think the other thing is, and Noel mentioned it, one of the things I'd like to do is a continual budget process. When the money was, rolling in, people tended not to look at stuff on a short-term basis. And I think you have to constantly be checking yourself where you are on this timeline so that you don't get to the end of the year and find out we're short. So I'd like to see some more continual budgeting process.
Let's see if I can get close enough to it now. What I'm about to tell you is that now you're going to determine how old I am. Back in the 80s when I was a young exec, and I mean young, we went through the same thing in the corporate world, or in the private sector. We had top-heavy, my boss called me, come in, he says, we're going to reduce the head count. We had to reduce head count constantly in order to meet the efficiencies and the needs of the business. So when we talk about what we have to do here in this particular community is, number one, as some of my constituents have said, is we have to be very careful in terms of how we manage the revenues and the expenses of this particular county. And it has to be done on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, whatever we set up. But foremost and utmost is that my focus is to work with my colleagues in the county administrator to do three things. One, I think we need to re-engineer or review the staffing models in terms of the management levels to meet today's challenges regarding efficiencies and fiscal responsibility. Two is to work with the county administrator to create a more friendly environment for customer-facing opportunities or customer-facing departments so that we provide an opportunity for somebody to come here. Brian has been out there trying to get people to come in here to do business with us, and we keep getting some type of negative connotations from those folks because they have lots of problems. We need a more friendly environment to entice folks to come here. The third piece of it is to expand our range of opportunities in attracting new businesses and to help create a greater tax base so that we can lessen the responsibilities on the businesses as such as I have in the community, and